Welcome to another edition of The Nate Moore Show. Our show is brought to you by Reliable Heating and Cooling. I'm Keyshawn Dorsey, here with Coach Moore. Coach, welcome to the show.
Hey Keyshawn, thanks for having me on.
The Tigers opened the 2018 season last Friday night in a 35-7 victory over Akron St. Vincent St. Mary. How do you feel your team overall did?
Well, I'd say overall we had a pretty good night at the office. Played well on both sides of the ball. Saw some good things out of our special teams unit. Not great, but some good things, and pleased with the effort.
How are the Tiger defense able to contain the Irish offense so effectively?
Probably 90% of playing good defense is just being disciplined, and that's been our biggest improvement over the last couple of years is being disciplined, being where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there, how you're supposed to be there, and playing with great effort within that, getting off blocks, tackling well. So it wasn't anything fancy. It was just, old-fashioned good defense.
Your team had 0 turnovers in last week's win. How do you and your staff emphasize the importance of not turning the ball over?
Protecting the football is one of our keys to victory. It's one of the biggest, along with scoring in the red zone, one of the biggest things that our offense strives to complete every week. We have a quarterback that takes care of the football, and we try to create an offensive system that's simple and can be executed effectively, and he does a good job within that. And our running backs run hard with good fundamentals, keep the ball high and tight, and so that results in not a lot of turnovers. We were pretty good in that area last year also, and it was a good start to the season with that.
Tell us more about the play of your offensive and defensive lines in last week's win.
Yeah, offensive line played very, very well. Gave up 0 sacks on 21 attempts. We ran the ball very effectively, especially as the game wore on. I thought our offensive line did a really, really nice job, and defensively, it all starts up front, and those guys up front did a good job in the run game and holding blocks and taking on double teams and getting other people free to make plays, and it's a dirty job. It's a tough job, but we got guys that are team first guys that have done well.
When you take a look at your special teams, what did you like most about those groups?
Our special teams unit, I'd say, our punting unit did a pretty good job. There's one specifically that you'd like to have back. We had, a small protection issue on the backside of one of our punts, but there were a lot of good things there. We had a 40-yard punt with no return. Anytime you can do that, you're doing pretty well. I thought our kickoff coverage team did a really good job on all but one kickoff return, and even the one that squirted free, we had guys hustling down and got a really, really fast returner down from behind, which was good to see, and it really was a key play in the game. So, always looking for improvement, but there's some good things. We saw some flashes of good things out of our special teams units.
In a moment, we'll meet a Tiger player and hear more from Coach Moore. But first, a word from Reliable Heating and Cooling.
Everything that goes into a Lennox system is engineered for absolute comfort. Like the parts that create your perfect temperature and humidity, or the parts that purify the air. Together, all these parts save you up to half off your heating and cooling bills. And there are few things more comforting than that.
The future of home comfort is here now at Reliable Heating and Cooling. Get the latest innovation and technology at Reliable.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Thank you, Reliable Heating and Cooling. Joining Coach Moore and I, Tiger Center, Justin Gaddis. Justin, how excited were you after your Week 1 victory?
I was excited the day of the victory, but after that, you just got to look forward to the next week and work. Now we're just working towards Glen Oak.
How would you summarize the play from the offensive line last week?
I feel we played pretty good, but I mean, we can always get better in certain things, starting off better in the run game.
A lot of people don't realize how much time you and your teammates put in during the off-season. How did you motivate yourself during those times?
During the off-season, you stay motivated just thinking about towards the season, and when you get to play during the season and all the fun times you get to have with your teammates.
What are some of your personal goals this season?
This season, we just want to come out and play hard all season, and make sure we make the city proud.
Your team plays Glen Oak this week. As the center, what can you tell us about Glen Oak's defense?
Glen Oak runs a odd stack defense. Their nose tackle is about 5'11", 230. And they like to bring pressure with their linebackers. So I feel like we could be able to run the ball effectively.
As you prepare for this week's game, what's the differences there are for you between a home game and away game?
In preparation, there's really no difference between a home and away game. You just got to come out and practice hard every day.
Thanks, Justin, and good luck this week.
Thanks.
Coach Moore, tell us more about Justin's role on this year's team.
And Justin's one of our senior captains, and he's been a stalwart for us for the last 2 years. We expected him to be a very good player for us this year just because of the strength he has, the leverage he plays with, and the athleticism he has at the center position. I think he has a chance to be one of the better centers that we've coached here at Massillon, and maybe one of the better centers that I've had over the course of my head coaching career. He's a very good player, plays with a chip on his shoulder, and key to our offense.
Your Tigers play the first of 2 road games this season when you travel to Glen Oak this Friday night. The Golden Eagles lost their Week 1 game against a good Toledo Whitmer team. What can you tell us overall about Glen Oak's program?
Glen Oak is a very proud program, a very strong program. We expect them to rebound from their Week 1 loss. The key factor in the score of the game being as it was, I think it was 41-10, something like that. They had 5 turnovers offensively, and it's hard to get anything going when you do that. But when you turn on the film, you see a ball game that does not look like the score turned out. Glen Oak moved the ball on Toledo Whitmer. They weren't out physicaled. It was a good, evenly matched ball game. They did some good things on defense. So the 5 turnovers were the critical factor, and we expect them to get those things fixed. And we know how important this game is to Glen Oak. We know this is their Super Bowl, and they're going to be especially excited, to host this game. We know all those things, so we just need to take care of business from our perspective, from Massillon's point of view, and have a great week of practice and go play a good ball game.
What does Glen Oak like to do on offense?
They're really all over the place. Some spread, some 2-back tight end stuff. The quarterback's very good, fast, smooth athlete. Throws a pretty good ball, but definitely scarier as a runner than a passer. But he's dangerous, no doubt.
What are some of the things we'll see from the Glen Oak defense?
Defense is very different than years past. They've been a cover 4 under front for years, and they've switched that this year to an odd stack, like Justin talked about. Cover 3 almost exclusively behind that, so much different. a big change from last week, but that's how the season goes. It's you're prepping something new every week, and I expect our guys to handle it well.
And finally, what are the keys to a Tiger win in Week 2 against the Eagles?
I think keys to the Tiger victory are, we need to be able to establish the run offensively. We need to be able to stop the run defensively, and we need to protect the football and prevent turnovers, win the turnover battle.
We want to thank Coach Moore and Justin Gaddis for joining us on the show. The Nate Moore Show is brought to you by Reliable Heating and Cooling. I'm Keyshawn Dorsey. Thanks for watching, and go Tigers.
Massillon City Schools is proud to have one of the top career technical education programs in the state of Ohio, recently receiving a #1 ranking of the 93 districts in the area of achievement. Our Career Technical Education Department offers 14 pathways preparing students for college and careers. All students have the opportunity to participate and compete in their career technical student organization, as well as obtain valuable experience in the field while earning aligned industry credentials and/or college credit in high school. Visit massillonschools.org for more information.
Welcome to another edition of Swing for the 2018 season, featuring Tiger Swing Band Director Jason Neel. We're on the air with you every Wednesday night following the Nate Moore Show. And our show is brought to you each week by Howard's Tiger Rags in downtown Massillon. I'm your host, Dave Sheets, and with me is Jason Neel. And again, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
Can you tell us more about last week's first halftime performance at the St. Vincent-St. Mary game?
Well, I'll tell you what, I really enjoyed the game myself, personally. I think there was just an energy and an excitement in the stadium that I haven't even felt in a while, and it was really cool. And a lot of build-up. There's always a lot of build-up to that first game, and I think the band was really excited, and the team played well, obviously, and new scoreboard, and just a big crowd, and I know that the kids really brought the energy to the show that we were looking for, and so I was very pleased with their performance. And I think the crowd reaction at the end of the show confirmed that, and I think if any of the kids were kind of on the fence, I think we kind of sold them on this whole work hard, there's a great reward at the end for it. So all that to say, I was very pleased with the performance and the response from the crowd.
Well, I'm personally always curious to hear from you about your freshman band members. How do you think they handled opening night?
I'll tell you what, I've watched them grow over the past 6 weeks now, from not being able to do anything to we had a performance for our parents in early August where we went through the show, and then we went to the Cuyahoga Falls Band Show, and then to opening night. The growth has been tremendous. To my eye, I can still pick out freshmen. You can tell it's still new for them, but the growth has been great to watch, and it always is. But I thought they handled it well, and I, just talking to them this week, I could tell they enjoyed it, and just their excitement in class, watching themselves on the video from Friday night was fun for them to see how it all came together. Because you don't really get to see that when you're on the field and you're marching it. So we love those videos to watch and go back and see how we did. And there was an excitement in the freshman class that was pretty good, pretty cool.
You always have our band participate at the Stark County Fair. Tell us about that performance and what goes on.
Well, Tuesday night we performed at the Stark County Fair Show, and there's all the bands in Stark County, are there, and there's 2 shows so that to fit all those in. So we were at the early show, the 5:15 show, and we were the 6th out of 8 bands at that show, and then there's 8 or 9 bands in the later show. So it was hot,
Yes.
Very hot performance, but it's always fun to perform. And to get the kids out in front of a different audience. And that's, usually made up of fans from all the different schools. So everybody in Stark County, from somewhere in Stark County gets to see the Massillon Tiger Swing Band. And so it's a different performance than a football game for sure. And it's a a different venue in terms of, you're on a dusty track that is not a full football field from sideline to sideline. You have end zone to end zone, but you don't have sideline to sideline. So it's a unique performance, but one we obviously like, especially getting out there in front of a different crowd.
Now, you've been a director for quite a while now, and I'm curious to know, how closely do you watch other bands, their performances, their styles, whether it be at the Stark County Fair Show or other band reviews?
I tell you, we really watch closely when we are performing at halftime, and we try to teach our students that when we're at a game, at a football game, and we're not the band on the field, we're the audience, and we want to be a great audience to them and applaud them, and because we know how much work that takes. So I really pay close attention during the football games. At a fair show like that, we're all going around the track. It's really tough to see, and even at band shows, sometimes you don't have the best view of other bands. But I do. I've always got an eye on what other people are doing, and it's fun to watch other bands and see the different styles and just different little ways different people do things. And you can always learn from other groups too. And one thing I appreciate about our band and our staff particularly is we're always trying to be better. If we can find something that's going to work better for us, we're not afraid to modify what we're doing. And it's just fun to watch other bands. I'm a fan of bands,
right.
So it's a lot of fun, and it's always better when you can see them from the front. If you're from behind or from the side, it's not as interesting, but you can always watch and enjoy it some way.
And we'll have more of Swing in just a moment, but now this word from Howard's Tiger Rags in downtown Massillon.
Massillon fans all know the best place to find great Tiger apparel and much more is Howard's Tiger Rags in downtown Massillon. Howard's Tiger Rags is proud to sponsor the Swing TV show on WHS-TV. How about a new football t-shirt and hat? See their cold weather items and Letterman jackets too. Need a hoodie? Howard's has nearly 300 in stock all the time. Don't forget about their infant and toddler apparel, Tiger mugs, and framed wall art. They'll even help you get ready for prom. Visit Howard's Tiger Rags in downtown Massillon. Follow them on Facebook and give them a like.
And thanks to Howard's Tiger Rags, and welcome back to Swing. The Tiger Swing Band is celebrating its 80th year this season. In what ways are you celebrating our band's excellent tradition?
Well, 80 years ago, 1938, George Bird, started this whole swing band thing, and we are, obviously we had our swing show for our first show, and kind of the theme was still swinging after 80 years and just putting a prominence on that swing music right off the bat. And we do that every year, but this year we didn't really have a theme to those songs. They just kind of were really good swing songs that we liked, and we thought we'd just point out the fact right at the beginning that, hey, this is our 80th anniversary. But we are going to have an alumni band performance combined with the regular band for the September 14th game. And real excited about that. As we sit here today at the end of August, we already have over 100 alumni registered for that band, and it's continuing to grow every day. So I'm hoping to get, maybe 150, whatever. That'd be awesome to get a lot of alumni, because then when you combine that with our band, we're going to have close to 300 on the field to do everything together. That'll include our opening routine, and that'll include some school songs, and we're going to do a special swing number with the whole band, with the whole combined group, and it should be a really cool show. And just encourage any alumni who are out there, or anybody who knows any alumni, just encourage them to come back and march this show with us. So we're going to have one practice to put that whole thing together. It's going to be the night before the game. Okay. So all that information is available on our website. But that's the real big thing. We're getting T-shirts made up, and we're going to be talking about it all season. But 80 years is a big deal for us.
Absolutely. Now, the band has been known to do a lot of traveling from New York City to Florida to California and so forth. Any special trips for this year?
Well, this spring break, we're going to be going to Disney World in Orlando, Florida. And we try to do that trip every 4 years so that the kids all have an opportunity at one point in their band career to go to Disney World, and they put on a program called the Magic Music Days down there. That's really kind of cool. And I know the Teleproductions goes to do some stuff at Disney often, and I think they do things in a first class kind of way, and I like to have every kid be able to participate. So we've been confirmed for March 26th. We'll be marching in the Magic Kingdom. So we're looking forward to that. And they treat us like a cast member for the day. We get to go backstage and do what the performers do, and it's kind of neat to see how they perform. And you know, we're in the performance business, especially in marching season. You know, but we're also in the education business, so it's a great blend of the two, and it's fun to be able to take the kids and have a kind of a fun trip, but also an educational one.
Right. And finally, week 2, road game Friday night over at Glen Oak. You're no stranger, as are the Tigers, not a stranger to playing over there and performing over there. Tell us about this week's show.
Well, we'll be doing halftime only. Obviously, we'll be the first band at halftime, and we're going to take our swing show that we did this past week on the road with us. All of it, including our little train that we had going around the field. We're going to take that on the road. So it left on Monday just to get there
just
by
to get
Friday.
there, right.
No.
Sure.
But no, we're going to do Chattanooga Choo Choo and George on My Mind and Minnie the Moocher. There's some great soloists in there with Matt Hersher and Jordan Higgins and Malik Peloso. We're all featured in that show, and I thought the crowd reacted well to those soloists and to the whole show. So I hope the Glen Oak fans appreciate it as well. We'll be playing towards their side and swinging again.
All right, I'm sure they will enjoy it. That's going to wrap it up for this week's edition of Swing, featuring Jason Neel, the director of the Tiger Swing Band. Our show brought to you each week by Howard's Tiger Rags. And for Jason, I'm Dave Sheets. Thanks for watching. And as always, go Tigers.
I joined cosmetology because I've always loved coloring hair and different colors and makeup.
I joined media because I've always had a passion for all things related to media.
I've always had a passion for teaching other people, especially topics that I'm interested in.
I want to pursue a career as an orthopedic surgeon, and so when I saw that we had this class, I immediately circled it on my schedule and was excited to join.
This class has made me better because it made me very responsible.
I like the relationships that I've developed in this class. The girls that are in here with me, I've really grown close with all of them.
I joined this class because I enjoy helping others and I want to make a difference.
Even like just making something and having people go, wow, that's really interesting. It means the world.
It was just a really good environment to be in. It was real hands-on, and it was just something I really wanted to do.
I joined the construction trades to gain experience in the job I want in the future.
Everything that this class has taught me will account for my career in the future.
Before I came to this class, I was unemployed, and Ms. Markley helped me get a job.
I'm going to use what I learned in manufacturing in order to better decide my career.
It gave me more knowledge on cars and gave me plans to go in the auto industry.
Massillon CTE works for me.
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 Works for me.
For me.
For me.
For me.
Massillon CTE works for me.